Dre Davis. I play Sarah Harvey on Pretty Little Liars, and you're watching Young Entertainment. We're gonna do the rapid fire round.
Black or red?
Black.
Bird or Chinese symbol?
Bird.
Allison or Sarah?
Sarah. I thought you were gonna say someone else.
Paige or Allison?
Allison.
Paige or Sarah?
Sarah.
Young or old?
Old.
Sad or happy?
Happy.
Good or bad?
Good.
A or Z?
Z.
Dollhouse or real life?
Real life.
Charles or Jason? Running or swimming?
Swimming. Kissing.
Dirty or shower?
Shower. Oh wait. Mona.
Lauren or Toby?
Toby.
Bears or brownies?
Brownies.
Emily or Claire?
Emily.
Black or Dee?
Black.
Long, short.
Short hair. Dr. Dre. The first day on set of Pretty Little Liars was pretty nerve-wracking for me because this was my first big show, and I haven't done a ton of TV prior to this. I feel way more comfortable in TV because of Pretty Little Liars, but before it was mostly theater, which is a completely different ballgame, and they're both great, but it was just it was a strange adjustment at first. We don't know a lot about Sarah Harvey. We're just finding out more about her past and her presence in the show gradually. I mean, I find out last minute about her. I get the script the week before we shoot. So each week I'm learning more about her. So what we know thus far is that she had a bad childhood. Her mother is an alcoholic, and she was stuck in the dollhouse for a couple years. So now she's just trying to get back into life and back to normalcy. I love Sarah's mystery. That's my favorite part about Sarah. Because she's a mystery to the show, but also to herself. I feel that, and to me, obviously, because I find I have worked on her for a certain amount of episodes, but there's still more to go and still more to learn about her. That's what's so fun about Pretty Little Liars, and I think why people want to turn it on every week, because there's so much mystery to it, and Sarah holds on to that mystery, and she just gradually lets out who she is. I didn't really know a lot. I only had a couple scenes in the audition and in the producers' meetings. I knew she was stuck in, I didn't know for how long she was stuck in some sort of bunker, but I knew she was trapped somewhere and she was just getting out of it. But I didn't know anything about her past or her involvement with the Liars or what she was going to be doing in the show. It's very little. When it first came out, I watched it years ago, and I really liked it, and I remember thinking, this is an awesome show, and even before I was acting, I wanted to be a part of the show. I saw the girls, and I thought that that's such a great gig for them. And then years later, it's just interesting to see how I was enticed by it before I had even started acting. So now to be a part of it, it's even more awesome. I thought I was just going to have a couple episodes, if that. I thought it would be 1 to 3 episodes. And then I booked it, and my agent said it could be 3 to 10, and now I'm past 10, so I was totally blown away. I think Pretty Little Liars is a lot more than I expected. I feel that the fans really gravitate towards the characters because they're dealing with issues such as their sexuality and just, growing up, the confusion and this loneliness of growing up. And it's very fascinating that they had these girls in a bunker because this isn't necessarily a made-up issue. This is happening around the country and around the world, and I find it very fascinating. The reaction I've gotten from the fans how closely they relate to the characters in the show. So I find it an important show. I love Sarah's evolution, how she's always changing. Sarah is not just a young girl. You're already going through so many changes as a teenager, but she's reawakening to life. She's come out of this dollhouse where she's been stuck for a couple of years, so she has to regroup, reawaken to who she is. So I love that she is constantly evolving and finding out who she is. I can relate to growing up and figuring out who I am, how I fit into society, and dealing with. Sarah has more reason to be nervous and agitated in society because she's been out of it for so long, but growing up I felt, you're a little wary, so I can relate to her in that regard, and just kind of feeling confused and, like who's really who in what situation, and she's kind of very guarded. She has more, she's been through a very traumatic circumstance, but I think that at some level people can relate to that because it's a human reaction. So hers was through a very traumatic circumstance, but it's a human emotion that people can understand. The hardest part about playing Sarah is simply hoping that I'm giving her justice, that I'm serving her character and providing the emotionality that she has. It really helped the hair and the makeup and the wardrobe and the dirt and the setting. There's a lot that goes into making a show. The actor's a big part, but it's also the director and the writer and just everybody, the crew. So that definitely, when they put the wig on me and the makeup, I really started to freak out a little bit. Even as Dre, I was like, this is creepy. So that helps, and it just kind of lets you pay attention to what she's really gone through, because you look at yourself in this state, in this aesthetic, and it kind of brings more reality to it. It was really weird looking at myself in the mirror with the wig on and the makeup and the dirty yellow shirt, and just everything was really, and then the bunker where I had my bed, and then there was the toilet and the days that I marked, so it really kind of grounded me in Sarah's reality. Sarah's tattoo represents freedom, how she escaped the dollhouse and now she's free from that confinement and that's what the tattoo is, a bird flying from the cage. Freedom. As for what's to come, I'm not going to tell you. She's going to turn into a bird. Sarah will turn into a bird.
And fly away?
Yes. In 6B. Stay tuned. My favorite scene to shoot that has aired would be from episode 2 in the hospital room when Emily approaches Sarah, because this is when I finally not just reveal my name, but I have a conversation with somebody and I'm interacting with someone, and it was very interesting to act that because it's a little bit timid, but so the challenge of that was like finally interacting with another human and opening up was a fun challenge, but it's also her physicality to play with that, as Emily is really the first person that she's conversed with in years. My favorite outfit has been the hospital gown because it's comfortable and I got to just lay in bed or in the hospital bed. But I also love Sarah's attire in 6B because she's just evolving and it's really fun. I really like her style a lot. And my least favorite, people are gonna hate me for saying this, but the yellow top, because it was representative of her confinement and her abuse and being, tortured. So I think the yellow top is pretty heated. I think it's a pivotal piece in the show, but in terms of Sarah and her reaction with it, it's not very, and Ellison and Mona, it's not an easy shirt to be in for the characters. And it's dirty. Okay? It's dirty. I think the most exciting thing for fantasy in 6B will be more answers, because it's the summer of answers. Actually, not necessarily just answers, but more questions. I feel like there will be more questions raised. And that's exciting because it keeps the show going. Sarah will fit into the story, but you'll have to watch and stay tuned. You'll have to keep watching it. Hey, this is Dre Davis. You're watching Young Entertainment, and you can catch Pretty Little Liars on Tuesdays at 8.